Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Marketing 101 Practical Strategies to Market Your Business webinar. My name is Lisa Adamos, Economic Development Manager for the City of Pleasanton, and I will be facilitating today's webinar. We're pleased to partner with the Pleasanton Downtown Association for this event. This webinar will introduce small business owners to the basics of marketing, from understanding your target audience to creating effective social media content to grow your digital presence. While we only have an hour, we will try to pack as much information in as possible. And we will end with a Q&A session, so feel free to add your questions. And then I will introduce our presenters shortly. I'm going to share my screen now. So I'll introduce our presenters shortly, but first I'd like to highlight a few City of Pleasanton business resources. This webinar is part of the city's Business Assistance Series launched earlier this year. We've already hosted 2 events with the East Bay Small Business Development Center, which was a menu costs and reengineering menus workshop, and the 2025 Capital Summit, which connected lenders with local businesses. The city also partners with the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce to offer free in-person advising appointments on the first Tuesday of each month. Advisors are available to support businesses in areas such as finance, business planning, management, and technology, to name a few. More information is available on the city's website under the business heading, and then click Business Resources. I'd also like to acknowledge Melinda Dennis, our Deputy Director of Community and Economic Development, who oversees economic development and the Permit Center and is available to assist businesses with questions about starting or growing in Pleasanton. So before we begin, here are a few city promotional opportunities. Gift Pleasanton is our community e-gift card program accepted at over 45 Pleasanton businesses. It's free for licensed businesses to participate. Last holiday season, more than 31,000 in gift cards were sold, and that's local dollars spent here in Pleasanton. We also have the Support Local Guide, which is mailed in the December issue of Your Town Monthly to over 32,000 households. There is currently a wait list for ads, but it's a great opportunity to consider for next fall. And lastly, our Hometown Holiday Celebration sponsorships. Businesses can sponsor this annual event and receive promotion through signage, social media, and recognition on event day. We'll include links to all of these opportunities in a post-webinar follow-up email. Now I'm excited to introduce our speakers for this morning's webinar. From Tailor Made Creative Consulting, we have Tiffany Thurber. Tiffany is a marketing and communications professional with over a decade of experience helping organizations and businesses connect with their audiences through creative, data-driven strategies. Having built a strong foundation in event strategy and community marketing during her time with the Pleasanton Downtown Association and Alameda County Fair, Tiffany went on to found Tailor Made Creative Consulting, a boutique agency dedicated to developing customized marketing solutions for local organizations and small businesses. Through TMCC, she provides a variety of strategic marketing and communication support for organizations such as the City of Pleasanton and Visit Tri-Valley, as well as hands-on consulting for small businesses across the region. Tiffany is passionate about empowering local organizations and businesses to tell their stories and authentically and effectively using creativity and collaboration to strengthen community engagement and growth. From the Pleasanton Downtown Association, we have Gabrielle Welk and Mindy Louie. Gabrielle is the Executive Director of the Pleasanton Downtown Association, where she leads strategic marketing, community engagement, and downtown revitalization initiatives. With a background in event strategy, brand development, and business advocacy, she has redefined how downtown districts connect with their audiences. Under her leadership, Pleasanton's downtown has seen innovative campaigns, immersive events, and expanded partnerships that strengthen both tourism and local business vitality. Gabrielle is passionate about helping small businesses tell their stories through authentic, community-driven marketing. Her creative approach blends data-driven insights and storytelling that makes local economies thrive. Mindy joined the Pleasanton Downtown Association in May and loves combining her passions for marketing, creative writing, and event planning to help her hometown community thrive. After more than 10 years as a sales and marketing manager with Cisco Systems and Symantec Corporation, achieving huge wins with Amazon as her top growth account in the North America Consumer Division, being named Marketer of the Year, and most recently spearheading large events such as the Pleasanton Run for Education with PPIE, Mindy brings a plethora of insights and a creative spark to her new role. She is a big fan of Canva, writing clever captions, all things events, and connecting with the downtown community for marketing collaboration and promotion. In her free time, you can bet she's dreaming up her next event. So I'm excited now to hand over the webinar to Tiffany Thurber.
Thank you, Lisa. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. So let's dive in, and let's be honest that marketing can feel overwhelming, especially when you're running a small business and wearing a dozen hats. Between social media, websites, reviews, day-to-day operations, it's easy to feel like there's never enough time. The good news is you don't have to do everything, just a few things well. Success in marketing is about strategy and consistency. Picking the platforms that make sense for your business and showing up regularly. Today, we'll focus on practical, low-cost ways to strengthen your marketing efforts that you can start using today. Think of your website, social media, and online listings as your digital storefront. They should reflect the same warmth, professionalism, and quality that your in-person experience offers. After today's session, we'll be sending out our PDF slides of this presentation that will include clickable links to all the resources that we're going to mention throughout our discussion. So you'll be able to explore these tools and templates at your own pace. Let's start with the big picture on why marketing matters. Even the best products or services can go unnoticed without visibility. Marketing ensures that your business gets found and remembered. And consistent messaging builds trust. And when people trust your business, they will choose you over competitors. And marketing is about connection and not perfection. Even the most iconic brands never stop marketing. For instance, Coca-Cola spends over $4 billion annually on marketing, despite being one of the most recognized brands in the world. And we got to ask why. It's because they're staying top of mind and they know that it matters. One of the key takeaways is that consistent marketing builds trust. That brings us to our next point, how showing up regularly and professionally across all platforms creates familiarity and reinforces your brand identity. When your hours, contact information, or branding differ from one platform to another, customers can lose confidence. Being consistent from your logo to your tone of voice helps customers recognize and trust your brand wherever they see it, especially for small businesses who are competing with larger brands. This is extremely important. To show up consistently, we first need to know what's out there. So let's talk about how to audit your online presence and identify where your business appears and how it looks. Jump to the next, Lisa. There we go. Before you can improve your marketing, you need to know what's already out there. Make a list of every place your business appears online, your website, Google, Yelp, Facebook, Instagram, directories, anywhere your business appears online. Keep this in a simple spreadsheet with links for easy viewing. Then when you need to update your hours or contact information, you'll know exactly where to go. It's a small step that saves time in the end, and it can be a big help in keeping your information consistent everywhere. And once you've taken inventory, the next step is going to be ownership. Claiming or creating your business listings, especially on platforms like Google and Yelp, it's a quick win that makes a big impact. Jump to the next, Lisa, please. Thank you. These profiles often appear before your website in search results. Verified listings with accurate hours, contact information, and high quality photos help customers find you and make a great first impression. We know that 85% of consumers read reviews before deciding where to go. So your response matters. Reply to reviews, especially negative ones, with professionalism and care. A thoughtful response will build trust and credibility, taking a negative experience and turning it into a moment of credibility for a consumer. And as I mentioned, after today's workshop, you will receive a PDF copy of all these slides with helpful clickable links. And so on this slide, you'll see that there are guides on how to, step-by-step, how to claim your Google listing or create a profile if one does not already exist. Similarly, on Yelp, claiming or creating one. These are both platforms that you should be on. And as we know, they're extremely important, and consumers are using them before they go somewhere or to discover. And as we saw, 87% of consumers are using Google to discover local businesses currently, which is a huge number. And so these are platforms that we just can't ignore. And so now that we've claimed our space, let's talk about what to do with it. And we can't talk about digital marketing without talking about social media. It is one of the most powerful and accessible tools for small businesses today. And just a little overview, there are an estimated over 5 billion total social media users worldwide right now, which is a massive number. And we know that people are using over 6 different social platforms per month on average. And just a fun fact that Facebook is still the largest social network in the world with roughly 3 billion monthly active users, and 90% of consumers maintain a profile on Facebook. And not too far behind that, we have Instagram, where 82% of social users have profiles, second only to Facebook. And with continual growth and popularity, we are seeing TikTok just continue to skyrocket. And so one important fact about TikTok is that the data currently shows that TikTok is the top platform for product discovery among the Gen Z crowd. And so one tool, before I pass this off to Mindy and Gabby, who are going to dive deeper into social media, I wanted to mention that one tool that is available for social media success is the In Pleasanton platform. That's the City of Pleasanton marketing arm for economic development, where you can, as a small business, tag or collaborate with this to help amplify your message. It is a great resource for announcements, new products, special events, promotions. We also are working with influencers and can help initiate collaborations there. And so it's a great resource to tap into and engage with. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. Just tag In Pleasanton, send a message, and help amplify your voice there. And that's available to any and all Pleasanton small businesses. And so Gabby and Mindy from the Pleasanton Downtown Association are going to take us through a bit more on social media.
Thank you, Tiffany. That was awesome information. We're really excited about how many Pleasanton businesses are interested in expanding their marketing, especially our familiar faces of our downtown businesses. So we're going to jump right into this. Again, my name is Gabby. I'm the executive director for the Pleasanton Downtown Association. So we're going to really dive into growing your digital presence through social media. Before we start in getting into the marketing strategy, I want to give you a quick look at the power of community reach here in Pleasanton. The Pleasanton Downtown Association has built a combined following of over 41,000 people across Instagram and Facebook. That's a significant portion of our local and regional audiences who actively engage with what's happening here in Pleasanton. Our followers aren't just downtown shoppers, they include residents, visitors, and small business supporters from all over the city and the supporting areas. When we share our content, whether it's an event, a local shop, a new menu item, or a special promotion, it has the potential to reach thousands of people who are already interested in local experiences. The takeaway is when a local business taps into a community platform like ours, it multiplies visibility and builds stronger shared momentum for everyone. So even if you're not a downtown business member, give our account a follow, like our pictures, or comment on our posts because you never know, one of the 41,000 people might see it. So, step one is to define your brand identity. The goal is to create a consistent and recognizable online personality. So, with our first bullet point, establish your visual style. Your visual style is the first impression people have of your brand, often before they ever walk through your door or visit your website. Consistency builds recognition. Think about the colors, the fonts, the photo style that you're using. Do you always use your logo in the same spot? Do your photos have a certain tone? Are they bright and colorful, cozy and warm, or sleek and minimal? You want to try to create a visual look that feels like you. For example, if you're a boutique, maybe you use your palette's soft neutrals and bold accents. If you're a coffee shop, you maybe are using warm wood tones and natural lighting. The goal is for someone to scroll by and immediately recognize your content without even seeing your name. And the second is identify your tone of voice. Your tone of voice is how your brand speaks to people, and it's your personality online. You want to ask yourself, are you friendly and conversational, like a neighbor chatting over coffee? Are you elegant and refined, offering a high-end experience? Or maybe are you quirky and playful, showing off humor and creativity? There's no wrong answer. It just needs to reflect your business authentically. Once you define that tone, you want to stick with it. It helps your captions, emails, and even your in-person interactions feel cohesive and true to your overall brand. You also want to write a short brand statement that reflects what your business is unique. So, a brand statement is like your business's heartbeat in one sentence. It should sum up who you are and what makes you special, especially in the context of Pleasanton's local charm. Examples might be locally rooted, community loved, bringing Main Street charm to modern life, or crafted with care, inspired by connection. It's something you can use on your social bios, your website, or your signage. When people read it, they should instantly understand what your business stands for. Step two is to audit and optimize your platforms. The goal is to create a consistent and recognizable online personality. You want to choose 2 to 3 core platforms. You don't need to be everywhere. You just need to be consistent where it counts. For most small businesses, Instagram and Facebook are still your best foundation. They reach slightly different audiences, but work great together. Facebook is for community connection and events, and Instagram is for visual storytelling. If you have the capacity and you can add TikTok or Threads as an optional third platform, especially if your content is video heavy or you want to reach younger audiences. The key is it's better to do 2 platforms really well than to stretch yourself across 5. You want to update your bios with location tags. Your social media bio is like a storefront sign. It should tell people who you are, and when they can visit you. You want to include downtown Pleasanton or your specific area so people instantly know that you're local. You want to add your business hours and make sure your profile logo is consistent across all the platforms, which helps your followers recognize you quickly. A clear branded bio makes you look professional and helps customers find you faster, especially when they search by location. You want to use link tools like Linktree or Tap Bio. Your bio link is prime real estate. and it's where your followers take action. You'll see in my previous slide here, our Instagram bio is a short blurb about who we are and where we're located. It has our 2 upcoming events at the time. One of them just passed. And then you'll see that we have a link here, and that links to all they have to do is click that one link and it can lead everything. So if you're, a service industry and you want to have your booking website, what you offer, you can link it all into one link and make it less confusing for people. You want to pin your best or your seasonal posts. Again, if I go back, you'll see that we pinned our posts. These top 3 are pinned, and no matter where you scroll on our profile, those 3 will consistently stay at the top and they don't get lost in your new posts. So you'll see that we have our event schedule pinned to the top, and then we have 2 videos that have done really well and that really give people an experience of what downtown Pleasanton stands for. You can pin a post just by holding down the picture, and a little option will pop up that says pin to profile. And that is very useful, especially if you have seasonal content. So fall, it's a great time to link that at the top. Step 3 is content strategy. The goal is to tell your story and spotlight the local experience. So there are the 4 E's that you always want to stand by. First is engage. You want to focus on content that gets people to interact with you, not just scroll past. This could be polls, quizzes, or question stickers, such as, what's your favorite spot downtown? Which fall drink are you choosing this season? You can really add a question that tailors to what your business is. These small interactions build connection and boost your visibility in the algorithm. The more your audience engages, the more content gets seen. The second is educate. People love learning, especially when it's personal and local. Share behind the scenes moments. When we post throwback photos of anything downtown Pleasanton, people jump right over that. We even ask a question and say, where is this located in town? And people flood in the comments. And so that's something that you can do, even if it isn't necessarily tied directly to your business. You can go out and take a picture of something, ask people. Sometimes it's okay to kind of step out of your normal posting schedule to get people to interact with what you're posting. The third is to entertain. This is where your personality really shines. You want to have fun with your content. Post reels showing your team having fun, jump on local trends, or showcase themed events you're part of. Entertainment content reminds your audience that shopping local isn't just a transaction. It's part of an enjoyable experience and a vibrant community. I think that Pleasanton is home to a lot of small business owners, and more often than not, you can walk into a location and find the business owner in their store. And I think it really adds that personal touch when you're doing reels of your employees or yourself. Even anything random from everyone trying their weird, wacky ice cream flavors and post something like that. It really connects them to your business. And then lastly is empower. So you want to use your platform to lift others up, feature other Pleasanton businesses, local nonprofits, or even customer stories. You want to tag them, share their posts, and celebrate the people who make our community special. Empowering content strengthens the local network, and often those businesses share your posts in return, doubling your reach. There's a lot of times where we comment on other businesses' posts and then they do the same to us. And the more comments that you're getting on your photos, the more that the algorithm will put your stuff at the top. So if you're liking and following and commenting on other people's posts, that post is going to be interacted by more people in the community. So they showcase things that are interacted with more. So get your friends to comment on your posts, and it will help naturally boost your content without having to pay for that. Step 4 is visual and video focus. Make your content scroll stopping. This is something that may seem intimidating to many people, but if you have an iPhone or a phone sitting in front of you, you can do this. So some tips for making your content look professional without needing to hire a professional. Use lighting and real moments. Most effective content doesn't look overly produced, it looks real. Use natural lighting whenever possible, near a window, outdoors, or under your storefront awning. It instantly makes photos feel warm and inviting. Instead of relying on stock photos, capture real moments. Your team laughing behind the counter, a customer picking up an order, a sunset over your shop. People want to see you, not staged images. That authenticity brings way more, it performs better in the long run. The second is to post reels. So reels get 2 to 3 times more reach. If you're not posting reels yet, this is your sign to get on it. Instagram and Facebook heavily favor short form video, and reels typically get 2 to 3 times more reach than a standard photo post. You don't have to dance or be perfect. You just want to show something fun and useful. For example, pour a cocktail, show how a product is made, or capture a quick before and after of a setup. All you have to do to post a reel is record a video, and then when you go to post it, it gives you the option post as reel. Say yes. You want to try using the trending sounds that still fit your brand personality. If your brand is elegant, pick something soft and chic. If you're fun and quirky, go bold or humorous. The third is to create carousel posts that educate or tell a story. Carousel posts are those swipeable multi-images where it looks to be one post at first, but you can swipe between the different images. They're a great way to share more value without overwhelming Instagram captions or your feed. Use them to educate. For example, 5 tips for holiday shopping downtown, or tell a story before and after our store renovation, or 5 things to do downtown this weekend. We've noticed that during the holiday season, it's great to, put together why you can put together the best Christmas present just from my store alone, and then put a couple pictures of the different things that they can offer. These keep people on your post longer, and the algorithm rewards for that engagement. So the longer someone is looking at that post that you just posted, more that Instagram or Facebook will favor that and want to show it to other people. And so whenever I keep saying the algorithm rewards this or the algorithm favors this, I mean that they're showing your content to people that may not follow you, and you didn't have to pay for that boost. And so that's why it's important to keep these things in the back of your mind, because that's free boosting that Instagram is doing for you. Lastly, add subtle branding. You don't always have to plaster your logo everywhere. Instead, use subtle visual cues that connect your content back to your brand and to Pleasanton. For example, you'll see this picture with the Pleasanton Arch. We like to do as much branding with the Pleasanton Arch as possible. If you are a store and your sign is posted above your storefront, take your items outside and take the picture with the storefront in the background. If you're a restaurant, make sure to have a napkin with your name on the napkin when you're taking a picture. It can be really subtle, but you want to make sure people know what this picture is before they even need to go into who's posting it. So these touches give your content a sense of place and remind viewers that you're part of this community and are proud of it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Mindy, our events and marketing manager, to do the rest of the steps.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Gabby, and for leading us through that. And I hope you're all still with us here. I will carry us through. I've got 4 more steps to cover. We'll kick it off. I know if you might have questions, we're going to save that to the end of the presentation. But step 5, so we encourage everyone to collaborate locally. I guarantee you there is another business out there that would love to partner together to do a joint post and market both of your businesses. It is a great way to collaborate, to have your reach go even farther, and it's not extra work really. You really can just have a quick conversation. Hey, let's get together and join up and promote this, and then reach your audience and mine. And then it's a way to possibly encourage a new set of followers for yourself. Teaming up with a neighboring business. I mean, you could be a boutique that wants to partner up with a coffee shop and say, hey, try your chances to win a cozy sweater and a seasonal latte. It's just play with the seasons and play with what's going around in this time frame. It's just fun. Like we suggested to Jamie's Bridal, the bridal boutique downtown, maybe there's a way to partner with businesses to enhance that experience for brides to be. So if they're shopping and let's say they say yes to the dress, like maybe they want to enhance the experience and go to Primrose Bakery and they might get a complimentary glass of champagne or earn 10% discount to purchasing a wedding cake. There's lots of different ways that we would love to partner businesses together and have you guys collaborate to just do some really fun and unique partnerships. It's a great way to enhance downtown experiences overall for the consumer. Our second bullet is participate in PDA-led events and please tag us at Pleasanton DT on Instagram and Facebook. So we do a lot of events. There's guaranteed usually one per month. And those that are actively tagging us, we look online to reshare those posts and those stories constantly. So please utilize us to share what's going on, but also we are happy to reshare. Like Singo is happening tonight, this sidetrack. So there's always something going on downtown and we're happy to share it. It's even a simple story. We had our Halloween brew crawl this past weekend. Experience Burma shared their food menu. Neighborhood had an after party. There's so much going on and a lot of people do follow for what's going on beyond just our regular events. So please tag us and share. Number 3, there's the opportunity to host influencer visits. That means like you could offer some of your favorite customers or your most popular customers to come in and try free samples or an exclusive preview of a collection or something that's happening with your open house. I know Beer Baron did it recently for their Halloween pop-up bar, an influencer event. So you're just inviting people that are micro creators. Maybe they have a larger following than you, but another way to reach audiences in expanding cities or within a small radius outside of downtown Pleasanton. And so it's a great way. Think of it as like if you don't have the bandwidth to create an influencer event, think of it as every customer that comes through your doors is their own influencer. So they're going to report back to someone whether they had a really great time or a great experience or a great dining to if they had a poor one. So think of it as like there's always ways to have influencers and their words and their actions speak loudly to the community. So highly encourage any way that you can engage with your influencers. The next bullet, feature downtown spotlights. So there's a way to create 30-second clips. You could have, I know some that do this really well, like Meadowlark Dairy and Primrose Bakery. They do like their coffee ice cream sandwich. They just are doing a short video clip or a post that shows like this is what we've put together and we'd love to have you come try it out. So it just builds goodwill and it allows people to see like our downtown businesses are really like supporting one another and promoting one another. And it's just a great and exciting way to stay connected. Our next step, so 6 paid and boosted posts. So Gabby touched on this a little bit. Boosted posts are when you're going to have you want to try to get your top posts out there in the audiences that maybe you wouldn't touch normally. So it doesn't take a huge marketing budget. You could spend $50 to $100 targeting Pleasanton and Tri-Valley residents. Think of it as putting a little gas behind the posts that are doing well, but you want to just take it one step further. There is I think we spent $90 on our Halloween brew crawl post, and that's not a lot when you consider that's maybe the cost of 2 tickets, but we got so many new followers from that boosted post. We can also specify the location targeting with Meta. So you can, in your insights, you can see there's a way to target like beyond like 1 to 5 mile radius outside of downtown Pleasanton. So we would choose cities like Livermore, San Ramon, Dublin, and those are the ways that we've utilized boosting. We for sure we see it work too. Like we see it in the top of our feed. So we know that they work and we highly recommend setting aside that money if you can to boost your posts because it just does give you that extra reach. It ensures that people that wouldn't normally walk through your doors or your business, they will just see that post and they're interested and they want to check out what's going on. Forkful was another post that we boosted, our culinary stroll in September. And there's a way that you can select which categories, like the demographic that you want to market to. So for Forkville specifically, our culinary stroll, we would select foodie groups, restaurants, those that like to dine out, culinary. So those are like kind of just like key words that you can choose. It could be those that enjoy shopping or wine tasting. There's a lot of opportunities there to dive into the specific demographic that you want for those boosted posts. Okay, step 7, community. This is a fun one. The goal here is to build authentic connection and loyalty. So you want to definitely reply to every comment and DM within 24 hours. It shows that you're active, you're approachable, transparent, you're willing to connect, and just it enhances the visibility in the algorithm, as Gabby mentioned. Another bullet here is to follow other downtown accounts and comment on their posts. So it's a good feeling when somebody comments posts and you want to comment back. It's like you're happy to just keep that engagement going, and it really just builds that online connection and relationship. And so we're all about supporting one another, and I think that the more that you do that, you will see that come back to you. The next bullet here, share customer photos and tag them. So I think a lot of businesses are starting to do this, but we want to see, from the folks that are utilizing these businesses and services. So it's fun to see people that are trying on clothes or going to that restaurant. You'll see like the son, I think, of the Bravazzo owner. He goes around and takes video and promotes his dad's restaurant. Like, it's just fun to see different perspectives, especially from the customer's eyes. And so highly recommend sharing whatever photos, quotes, videos that your customers are taking, because that's what like me as a normal consumer would want to see, that you are just really active in connecting with your customers. And then lastly here, use community hashtags. So it could be hashtag downtown Pleasanton, shop local, dine local, support local. And then that's the way that people can click on that hashtag within your post to see the other posts that are related to that topic. So it just expands your reach and your audience. And then our last step here is to measure and adjust monthly. So you obviously, you want to put the dollars forward to marketing or free marketing, but you want to see how it's performing so you can adjust how you set your goals going forward and market. So for the first point, top 3 performing posts. So it's really important to look into your insights tab in your dashboard and see, you can look at the last 90 days, 30 days, last few weeks. You could see which posts performed the most. And Gabby touched on, for the Pleasanton Downtown Association specifically, historical posts do really well, but also I noticed that our giveaway posts did extremely well. So we were just giving away 2 free tickets to the Halloween brew crawl, and we received so much traction on there. And even if they didn't come to our event, they started following us, they started telling their friends about it. So it's just a way, if you can throw in a giveaway at some point, that is a great way to just continue to build your following. You want to track your follower growth. So how is your audience growing month to month? And then take a step back. If it's not growing, figure out what content might need to be tweaked and just, spun in a new creative way going forward. Engagement rates. So measure how actively your followers are engaging with your content. This is important because you want to see basically if your content is falling flat or if it's really doing well. So it's always important to look back at, how many people are liking, commenting, clicking on it. And then with that, also website clicks or foot traffic. So take a look at if you promoted a in-store event or some type of, you went heavy on, this new menu item. Did you see an increase in your foot traffic in the next week? How was it? And also think about bringing in like those influencers again to those specific timeframes when you are trying to boost specific content. Definitely just learn and adjust your monthly content, and then it's right. Social media is an ongoing experiment, and it's ever changing day to day. But the goal is to do a little better each month by leaning into what performs the best. And then next here, so I love Canva. I think Gabby loves Canva. We heavily use Canva to promote our events. So you might see our posters downtown. This is an example here. So Canva is free. You can create a lot of fun graphics with it. I know my kids use it in school. Like there's so many ways you can use Canva. But what the content here that we're showing is stuff that we think is important to convey in a basic graphic if you're hosting an event of some kind. So you'll want to make sure that you include your logo, what type of business you are, the name, the title of the event, the date is important, a short description of what the event is, and there's all kinds of fun clip art that you can choose from. If you wanted to get fancy, you could always upgrade to Canva Pro, which I think is $15 a month. You can make your graphics animated, jump around. You can make your text jump around. I think Gabby did that in one of her slides. So there's a lot of ways to use Canva, and it's a great way. It's eye-catching, it's fun, and we love it, and we want to share more of what you can do with Canva in our next steps to follow post-webinar. So once again, I'm Mindy, and that's Gabby in my picture. We're so happy to be here and meet you via this webinar. I would appreciate you joining. And this is our contact information. If you want to get in touch, definitely reach out for downtown businesses. But also, if you weren't a downtown business, we're happy to connect because there's opportunities to sponsor our events. And we do have a 2026 sponsorships package coming with multiple events that we'd love to talk to you about. So this next slide here. So keep an eye out for post-meeting materials such as our Canva step-by-step tutorial for creating content. And then we will have a social media posting schedule recommendation for the best days and times to post. And these are many events that we have coming in the months of November and December, a lot of holiday fun. And so we would love to connect and partner together with you all, and we look forward to any questions. Thank you, Lisa, for having us, and throwing it back to you.
I also just want to touch on one quick thing too. I think that a lot of our content or what we just discussed, we tied it into downtown businesses just because that's in nature what we do. But anybody who's not in the downtown can take away those points that we talked about and utilize them, So I just wanted to clarify that too. I know that we said downtown businesses a lot, and we did speak on a lot of restaurants and retail, but this applies to service industry as well. If you're a service industry that wants to do a giveaway, you can come and get a gift card from, Coffee Time or something, and then give away that on your platform. And so you can get creative and really utilize the tips and tricks that we just mentioned for any type of business. So I just wanted to say that, but thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Gabby and Mindy. So if you want to go ahead and we can stop screen sharing, then we can view all of us. Let me grab, and then thank you so much for all of the information, as well as with Tiffany. I know that it was a lot that we packed in, and we want to make sure that we have time for questions and answers. We did get several questions in the chat, or in the question Q&A, and so I do want to go through those so that we can address them. And then any question that we're not able to address during the webinar, we'll try our best to do that in the post-webinar follow-up. But I want to start with our first question. So we have one of our attendees who owns it looks like a franchise with after-school programs in math and English for pre-K through 8 grades. They're tailored to local kids. What are recommendations for word-of-mouth strategy? And also, the franchise owns website and branding on Facebook and Google. What are options to enhance their marketing to attract local kids? So Tiffany or Mindy or Gabby, if you have a response, please share.
So I think maybe Mindy and Gabby can dive into the social. That can be challenging when you don't have complete ownership of that. One question to address potentially, as with the franchises, is there an opportunity for a local Pleasanton specific Instagram account and creating that space, what that can be a little bit more individualized to that location. But before diving more into that, I think talking about referrals and hearing from the particular question, what is important is, you know, getting that word of mouth and referral. And so one thing to consider could be an incentive program where you're creating perhaps an incentive through offering free sessions or discounts to families who refer new students. So if there's a successful conversion where you get a new student through word of mouth, somehow creating something that works for your business specifically. So not over extending an offer, but creating something that feels in alignment with what you are comfortable offering, but creating an incentive that drives that to push word of mouth further and create that opportunity and reward those that do help spread the word and acknowledging them that they're a part of the success. And so that would be something I would look into as a first step for that piece.
That's great. Thank you, Tiffany, for responding. Those are some great suggestions. So as we have several questions, I'll move on to the next one. Is there a certain way to be noticed by @in Pleasanton? I've tagged and messaged quite a few times, but we never get featured or reposted. So as Tiffany mentioned, In Pleasanton is the business marketing arm of the City of Pleasanton Shop Local program. And so we will do better about getting that. I think Mindy and Gabby mentioned, you know, when you post or when you tag Pleasanton DT, they reshare or they'll repost that. And so Tiffany is on contract with the city. And so we're going to work together to do a little bit more of that tagging and posting onto our story. There are we have to recognize businesses, make sure that they're licensed businesses within the city of Pleasanton. And so obviously they do have to be a Pleasanton business. But Tiffany, do you have anything to add on to that?
I think that provide like if there's an issue with the messaging that's not coming through, perhaps reaching out to the Econ Dev email address to just flag it and say, hey, inquire if there's maybe something specific pertaining to that request. Because typically, for the most part, there's an opportunity to, maybe it's not a post, but maybe it's a story. And there's a lot more opportunity with the stories, which still amplify the reach of the business. And so I think there's opportunity there. But if there may be something specific, perhaps reaching out via email with the specific, not necessarily on here, if you're not comfortable, but reaching out via email or sending a private message with the name of the business, just to look into it a little bit further to make sure that there's not something that's being missed as far as amplifying that.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. So Gabby and Mindy, this one might be for you. Do you have a list of local influencers that businesses can reach out to?
So we don't have a list necessarily, but what we do is, for example, when Beer Baron had their influencer night, Mindy did go and she, was able to kind of connect with some of them. But if you're not able to go to the event itself, what we also do is if we go on to for example, Beer Baron's page, we'll just use them again, you can see the list of all the people that comment and like on their photos, and those are often a lot of influencers, and we just go and follow them. So we basically piggyback on everyone else's influencers, and then you can reach out to them via DM or something and say, hey, I saw that you were able to go into Beer Baron and promote their, what they have going on. I'd like to invite you to come to my spot and we'll give you a free meal, in exchange for a post. And so you want to kind of give an outline text for yourself and then go through and just start sending it to all these influencers that you see. If you see someone post something of someone else, follow them, send them the same message, and see oftentimes more than not, they're looking for places to go to as well. I know that if you work with Toast, if you're a restaurant, they have an influencer program. It's a little pricier and it's something you sign up for, for the long run for a year. But Toast has an influencer program. And, but I would just say for free and for small local business owners, start finding them yourself on Instagram and reach out to them.
Great. Thank you, Gabby. I'm going to combine a couple questions because I think that they can be addressed, and whoever would like to respond, please do so. So what advice would you give on how to stay motivated when trying to promote oneself or one's business? And can there be such a thing as over promotion or posting too much?
We can touch on it and then Tiffany can add on too. So there is such thing as over posting. We're really careful about how much we post because we don't want someone to start seeing our name and then scrolling past it, or seeing our name come up on stories and swiping past it. And so we want to make sure, we're going to be sending out a follow-up after this meeting that's a posting schedule. You want to post 4 to 5 times per week, and you want to kind of mix that with stories and posts. If you have multiple pictures that you're wanting to post that are related to each other, those are where the carousel posts come in handy, where you can make one post where you can slide between the pictures. But you want to keep your content relevant, and you don't want people, like I said, to get overwhelmed with how much you're posting. And so we will share the posting schedule, and it also has content ideas for you as well to keep things fresh and engaging. And as far as motivation goes, sometimes I feel more motivated. I'm sure Mindy's in the same boat. We feel more motivated on Tuesday afternoon than sometimes we do on Wednesday, and we're just overwhelmed with other things to do. And so something to kind of get over that hump is to schedule your posts. So sit down, go grab a coffee somewhere or sit in front of the TV and schedule out posts for the next week or two. So there's an option on Instagram where you go to more settings when you're about to post something, and you can click schedule content and schedule it out for the next 2 weeks. Give yourself a break and it not feel like a chore anymore. And so if you're feeling like your posts aren't getting a lot of likes or comments, that's okay too. What's important is how many people are seeing it. And so just remind yourself that maybe you're not getting a lot of likes, but you're getting around to a large audience. And if you feel like your followers aren't growing, go to other businesses around you or similar businesses and go to their followers list and follow all of them. Just like I said, for the influencers, go follow people yourself. Take that step. Even if it's you don't know any of these people, just follow them. And most of them are going to start following you back.
Great. Thanks, Gabby. Tiffany, you might be able to respond to this one. So the question is, we mostly only follow local businesses, but rarely see their posts pop up on our feed. Our feed is full of suggested posts or ads. How can we see more content of the businesses we follow? I think this goes to the algorithm.
Yeah, which can get challenging and frustrating when you are, especially, I don't know if we're speaking on Facebook specifically or Instagram, but it's essentially true of both. But Facebook has become increasingly challenging, but you are able to tell the algorithm essentially that you want to see more posts like a post. And so it can take a little bit of time, but if you go through and acknowledge, and also an important thing is to react to the post, either with comments or just a reaction. That helps to ensure that you're going to see more of those types of posts, because it is frustrating when you're going through and you're trying to stay, in the know on what's happening around you, and you're just getting inundated with ads from, other brands that are not what you're looking for. So you can specifically click on, when you go to like the 3 dot options or more, depending on which platform, tell it that you don't want to see posts like that. And then when you see whether you do want to see posts like that. And a big one that's very easy to do is just be sure, as you're seeing, neighboring businesses and posts that you want to see, you're reacting to them and not just seeing them and passing them by. And so that does go a long way. with kind of changing what you're seeing.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. So we do have a couple specific downtown ones, but I want to get to this. I just want to mention there was a question about missing a few of the slides. We will be sharing the slideshow in addition to other content information that Gabby and Mindy have provided. And so I will be emailing out a post-webinar email, and you'll be able to get a copy of the slides as well as additional information. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that before we end the webinar. So the next question is, let me get to the downtown specific ones. So how can our shop get more traction if we're on a street off of downtown Main Street? And then, let me see, I think there might be a related. Again, and then it just sort of, being on the second floor, how do you sort of acknowledge and try to get more traction with that?
So I'll quickly say something and then Mindy will be able to talk a lot about it. So just in regards to some of the events and promotion that we do, we have a kind of wide variety of different events, whether it's the strolls and crawls or children's events. And so we do have things that are like scavenger hunts, and they're great for businesses that are harder to find on side streets or on second story. The guests are given a map and then they go to your location. You don't even have to be at your location necessarily to give them something. It can be as simple as having, something on your door, but it gets people to find your location, even if it might be difficult. And so that's a way, but Mindy will talk a little bit more on the actual marketing part.
Right. So as any downtown business, you actually can get a free booth to our downtown events. So we had a large vendor market with Pleasanton Palooza during the first weekends on Main in August of this year. We have Magical Holiday Evening coming up, but any downtown business can have a free booth where they're normally paid for. But I also wanted to touch on, I'm starting to do within social media more roundups. So I don't know, there was a picture of, I did like a National Chicken and Waffle Day roundup. So featuring like many businesses. I'm looking at doing more as November comes, like more small business Saturday, side street Saturday types of posts that can do a roundup of multiple small businesses that you may not recognize or know that are there because they are on the second floor or on a side street. So I'm happy to do more marketing around for those businesses that might not normally see.
Yeah, and then the last thing too is what we found is doing a little reel or a video. So when we're trying to showcase the different parking lots that we have, they are difficult to find for some people. And so we do a how to find me type video where we record ourselves starting at the Pleasanton Arch and then walking to where we need to go. And then we just kind of speed it up and put some fun music behind it. But you can always, when you're posting something on Instagram, in the captions say, located on the second story above Murphy's Paw, or give a short little explanation of where you're located. But we will say, as far as, when it's not social media, interacting with people in person. So really utilizing the free booth spaces that we allow, the farmers market, interacting with people, put something, like a balloon outside, or these scavenger hunts really help because it's a couple hundred to a couple thousand people throughout the month that we're doing it that will come by your storefront and may not know that you were there at that time.
Great. Thanks, Gabby and Mindy. So there's a couple questions here about your different types of businesses, not so much restaurants or retail, but so we have a question about, a health therapist or an autism learning center. What are some ways to promote without, sort of the cutie type of pictures that you talked about, or beverages? What are other types of ideas that you could share for those types of businesses? Either Tiffany or Mindy or Gabby.
Yeah, one, by just touching on the therapy center, one first thought that comes to mind is tapping into your brand and leaning into that. Obviously, your content is not, and with patient confidentialities and things like that, you're not going to be posting photos of your clients in your office and things like that. So you're going to want to lean into your brand and take ownership of being a wellness expert essentially and focusing on mental health. And there's some great ways that you could lean into that as your content. And so instead of focusing on people and posting about, your exact, testimonials or things like that, you would lean into just the wellness space as well as focusing on mental health in general, maybe providing weekly tips on creating positive mental health and creating that space for yourself or creating time. So leaning into those topics instead of uh, focusing on more general content would be my suggestion, just kind of as an initial overview.
Yeah, I think we were gonna kind of touch on exactly what you just said. You might be leaning more towards content such as how to get rid of the Monday blues or just type of mental health wellness practices, or if you know of events that are coming up that are related to the services that you offer, kind of put a monthly, these are the events in Pleasanton that you can go to that relate to what we offer. And we do things like a wellness crawl, so it's anything between massages, mental health therapists, salons, and anything to do with wellness, the yoga places, and so that's where collaborating also with other people around you that kind of fall under the same industry are really important.
Those are some great suggestions. Thank you. And related to that, there was a question about potentially changing the name of your business. So you can come into the Pleasanton's Permit Center and speak with our business license staff, and you can do a DBA, which is a doing business as. And so come into the Permit Center and we can look into that. So that there was one of those questions that I wanted to make sure we got to. We're a little bit past 11, but I think if everyone doesn't mind staying on just for a few more minutes, there was a couple questions here that I'd love to get to. One question is, are you finding value in the use of Nextdoor as a platform? Does anyone here have experience with Nextdoor or any comments regarding that?
We have not had huge, the Pleasanton patch has been helpful, which is somewhat similar. If you're not scared, Pleasanton Rants and Raves is also something like a neighborhood platform, but neighborhood is more, the neighborhood app has been more like, oh, do you hear this dog barking? Anyone else here, or something like quick alerts where they're asking their community, who just felt that earthquake, things like that, versus, here's what I have to offer. But patch is awesome, and Rants and Raves might allow it, might not, but there's a lot of groups.
Pleasanton community.
Yeah, there's Pleasanton community groups on Facebook where that type of stuff is, people are looking for babysitters or dog sitters, and you can post about the services that you offer on there, and comment on you can see people actively looking for your services and you can reach out to them directly. I would go more so towards Facebook groups that lean into your industry.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, I want to be cognizant and to everybody's time. It is about 5 minutes after 11. There are still a few more questions, but we'll try to send some responses to those. I'll share the questions with Gabby and Mindy and Tiffany and see if we can combine some of the answers and send that out into the post email. So I just want to say thank you to Gabby and Mindy with the Pleasanton Downtown Association. Thank you to Tiffany with Tailor Made Creative Consulting for partnering with us on this webinar. Again, it's part of the City of Pleasanton's Business Assistance Series. Please check out the city's website for more workshops and webinars in the future. And again, thank you all for spending this hour with us this morning. And we hope that you got a lot out of this webinar. And if there are more suggestions that you'd like on topics, please send an email to econdev@cityofpleasantonca.gov. We're happy to consider some additional topics in the new year. And then again, if any last words from Gabby, Mindy, or Tiffany before we close out?
We
Yes.
just want to reiterate again that we're really excited that there's movement downtown and in Pleasanton in general to increase marketing, and we're here for it. And we're here as a resource. Even if you're not a Pleasanton business and you were a part of this and you have questions for us, we're open to answer, to anyone.
Great.
Yeah, adding on to that, our information will be shared after this, which will be a great opportunity to connect if there's additional questions. And, it's a lot to condense into 1 hour. And so we covered a lot of topics, and there's certainly more to dive into. And so thank you for everyone that hung on and joined in. And it's a great first step into talking about marketing and your business and online presence.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.